Hey, I know it's not the weekend, and you're probably wondering, where the hell is Eric Lindquist? Well, he didn't get fired, and he didn't quit. I know that. So instead, the guy takes a vacation, and you're stuck with me. And for all of those out there who are like, I suffer through this guy here Friday and Saturday night. Now I got to see him 2 extra days during the week. I get it. But same process. We'll honor Lindy and all of this and try and knock down a couple of hits, couple of locks, couple of leans, what we have in front of us versus maybe not so much. We're going to run down every game. All right, we have 11 games. Thumbs up, subscribe. This thing with BetMGM is live. In fact, I'm going to give you a freebie right away as I talk about this sucker. You can see, you can put anywhere from $10 up to a G, all right? 21 or older, gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. We'll give you 2 free months of the Discord, which means you get to hang out with Eric Lindquist for 2 free months. Anywhere from 10 to 1,000. You want to put $500 on the A's to win on Thursday? Try to get the days right here. Go ahead. 600, 700, 800. You can see the math. You want to put $50 in? That's fine too. Whatever it is, we got you here. That's why we want to get you in more so than anything else. All right. That's the deal courtesy of BetMGM. You can see it right here. That's it. That's all we want you to do. Just jump in. Let's do it, shall we? The Marlins are in some trouble, wouldn't you think? Like some serious trouble right now. What I love about the Miami Marlins when they take on a team that I root for, in the case of the Philadelphia Phillies, is they just make it so easy. They truly do. We saw this where 2 losses heading into Wednesday were by such ridiculous circumstance that people were just slamming the Marlins because, there's just no way they're going to lose like that again. Don't be so certain. Do not be so certain. Come right back on a short turnaround. Michael Lorenzen making his Phillies debut. A guy who has pitched well in Detroit and should fit right in here. He's going to watch Kyle Schwarber struggle. He's going to watch a bunch of stuff happen, but he should fit right in. In fact, I love this trade and the move for Lorenzen. And we'll see him come up against Cueto. I mean, Miami is just so cooked right now. They have been so bad since the All-Star break. I don't know what more you can do here except expect some offense. And the thing about Lorenzen, he's going to get hit a little bit. So we're going to go over. First play of the day here is going over the total for the Marlins and Phillies. Anything you like, anything you see, you let us know in the comments section. That's all there for you, all right? But absolutely number one play for us to start things off, day game on a Thursday, that getaway in South Beach, over that total. We move to Texas. All right, Scherzer now making his season Rangers debut. And while Touki Toussaint ain't going to be one here, the bigger thing you have to worry about if you're looking at, I think, the Rangers more so, how are you getting limited? How are you not scoring a 1,000 runs on Toussaint in this White Sox team? Well, look, he comes in 338 slugging. The walks are just unforgivable. You can't survive in the major leagues with a 15.2 walk rate. Just can't happen. 338 slugging, 237 batting. He's not giving up loud contact. This is not just an automatic smash for the Rangers bats. Scherzer, on the other hand, I mean, come on. The one area that he's not dominating would be like X slugging, and that's 409. That's not a bad number. 216 X batting average to the 27.3 K rate. It's going to be really tough for Chicago. And I think Texas takes just a little bit to get going. Enough to impact the total, enough to have us here bet the under. All right, the under for the Rangers White Sox in Texas. Another early one there. We move on. Next up, the New York Mets. What do you make of this Mets team? I guess would be the question here. Saw an opportunity on Wednesday. Kodai Senga on the hill against this lowly Royals team. Now you may be lowlier than the lowliest. That's crazy, isn't it? That's saying something, isn't it? But that's what happens when you are a dog shit team with a ridiculously bad front office, an owner who doesn't know what's going on. You are the New York Mets. You are doomed for failure. It's just never going to change. Well, they're really looking to compete in 2025. Shut up. It's a bunch of losers. And that's all they will be. And Steve Cohen doesn't know his ass from his elbow when it comes to this squad. And the only good thing he gets is getting out of bad deals. Great. They used to say that about Steinbrenner, too, back in that rough patch. Well, at least he got out of the money. We're going to take the Royals again. We're going to take the Royals again and find the value plus money for a home team taking on a squad that has shown to the masses they've given up. There's nothing left for the Mets, and there's nothing left for you to bet the Mets. And shame on you if you want to bet the Mets, because I ain't going to do it. So if you're here for me, at least if you're here to follow, if you're here to fade, well, you got a juicy one. You got a juicy one. Let's move to Toronto. This one, another lower scoring game we saw on Wednesday. Can that transfer over Thursday? What's interesting, and today, Thursday is the day that you start to see a lot of team debuts, right? We already talked about a couple of them. How about Jack Flaherty? Mr. Flats. Relying a lot on that four-seamer, maybe too much. That's the argument there. basically 22 K rate to 11.1 walk rate. 33 K rate for Gausman. 33. It's going to be tough. And the thing is, like, the expectation is, well, if you can't strike out Baltimore, you better be prepared to give up a lot of hits and runs, etc. That's not the case. Gausman's been pitching fine to contact, and that's definitely an okay strategy against Baltimore. It's just if you're not a good pitcher and all you do is rely on striking guys out, good luck against that O's lineup. I don't think that's going to be the case here for Gausman. Flats, on the other hand, is going to have a challenge, especially on the road, but new place, new scene. We anticipate that he's healthier than that report indicates, and all of a sudden here, you've got a couple of guys with some K rates in this Toronto lineup that are hard to ignore. I think you understand why we're moving this way, right? Why we're moving towards an underplay here. And that's exactly what we're doing, is rolling under. Now, again, just to remind you, we went over in the Miami game, under in the Rangers game. We took the Royals on the money line. We just went under here in Toronto. That's 4 plays as I counted, right? 4. Get your 4 up, as they say. Put those in a parlay. Make that your first bet on BetMGM. Up to $1,000. You get it back if you miss it. And you get 2 free months of Eric Lindquist, which is essentially the Discord. Now, you get me, you get Ben, you get Isaiah, which is a fantastic value. But you're here for Lindy, you're going to get him too. All right? That big cheese head, you're going to get him too. That Gouda cheese head. Diamondbacks next up. I'm interested in the Diamondbacks because the Giants right now aren't interested in naming a pitcher. Bullpen start, call up, all this stuff. We're rolling with Fat. Fat is 0-4. It's not a real record, but it's an indication of something going wrong with an 8.2 ERA. It doesn't get any better when you start to look at the deeper metrics of it. In fact, Fat is normally a fade. Like, Fat is a system fade, but not this case. I don't know who San Fran's starting at the moment. I mean, this guy is just so bad. He's got a 6.4 walk rate, which is good. We can rely on something. We can anchor something there. Not bad. 17.5% K rate, 275 batting average. 275. We're in good shape here if Fat can just keep his head above water. Is that too much of an ask? If it's too much of an ask for you, then stay away from this game. Just pass on it entirely. I would not jump on San Francisco. I want no part of San Francisco. Bullpen or slope, I don't want to see it. And I don't want you out there burning away your money either. So the play here is either Arizona money line or pass. Simple as that for me. And yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, normally I should be telling you to just fade Fat, but we can't do it today. We can't do it against this Giants team. Again, what happened on Wednesday night, inconsequential to this earlier start here, especially with a rush start whoever it may be for the Giants. All right, now we get into some night action. Start going a little deeper. All right, now we get into some night stuff, which I love. So next up, the Bombers. Yankees hosting the Astros. Now we got something here. Schmidt and Javier. Now, Schmidt's going to get hit. All right, Schmidt's going to get knocked around. If you're thinking about playing a Schmidt K-prop, don't. I'm here to tell you, do not do that. In fact, where I think you can find some value would be in the total. And the reason is because we're going to go about the process of fading a guy in Christian Javier. That's essentially what we're doing here. Clark Schmidt, I mean, the 22 to 6.5 K to walk rate looks fine on paper, but it's not really that. Same thing, like you could argue, the 23 to 7.8 K to walk rate looks fine for Javier on paper. But this thing's going to start, and it's going to get real tough in this game, early in this game. The return of Judge, I mean, this lineup just becomes a little bit more difficult. Stanton had a crush one out there. So you're getting guys now around Stanton, or pardon me, Judge, in this lineup that, again, when we had Judge to bet with, around, or just involved in a game, it impacted other people in the lineup. It's starting to have that effect as well, and it will against a guy like Christian Javier. I definitely think that despite having an uncomfortable K rate for a bunch of these guys, Volpe, even Judge, Stanton, you can see they can turn with some power. Absolutely turn with some power. And look, I like the Astros bats. Absolutely like the Astros bats. Maldonado, McCormick, these guys striking out aside, even Jake Myers. I really like the matchup because it negates a lot of Ks for a guy like Schmidt. He's going to have to pitch to contact. That's not going to be his friend. That's not going to be his friend at all, to be honest with you. All right, we got a couple more to get to here. We just knocked out that Yankees game. All right, so let's move to Milwaukee. I was going to show you something, but it wouldn't work with the editing. Let's move to Milwaukee. Mitch Keller on the mound. That was the Discord, so you could see 2 free months of the Discord. And that I'm actually hitting tickets. It's not just Lindquist. Hauser versus Keller. Now, Mitch Keller is great this year. 25, nearly 26 to 7K to walk rate, 32.8 hard hit, 86.9 EV. There's a lot to like, And that's why I think we like Pittsburgh more than Milwaukee. We like the value of Pittsburgh in this game on the money line. You know, you look around, shop, odd shopper, the odd shopper premium tool as well. Make sure you're shopping. But you get this team at plus 105 or higher. Granted, I get it, it's on the road, but Mitch Keller should match up really well with this Brewers team. And Hauser is not an automatic out by any means, struggling with strikeouts, struggling pitching to contact. You give Pittsburgh a little opening here, and they're going to take it, and Mitch Keller is fine to slow a team down like Milwaukee and maintain kind of pitch arm's distance with that lead. So we're good here with Mitchie standing up, being a knockdown guy against the Brewers, adding a couple of Ks in there. Why not? That's the fun part here. All right, we move on. Now we're on the Twins-Cardinals game. Wow, Joe Ryan just totally misread that. If you're following me on anything that involved Joe Ryan today, wow. What a mistake. What a disaster. Seriously. St. Louis putting up a 7 spot in any inning is an insult, especially if you have the talent and skill level as a Joe Ryan. So I'm not relying on Sonny Gray to just have this magical, perfect night, but I'm relying on regression. I'm expecting some regression to the mean here with the St. Louis Cardinals. Liberatore, get out of here. That's a Russo name and then some. Liberatore. I mean, come on. The guy is nearly a 1-to-1 K to walk ratio. That is offensively bad. That's disgusting. You can't do anything positive with that, especially bet on that guy. And I ain't betting on him. This is a system fade. Just like a lot of you come on any video I do and say, let me just fade this dude. no matter what. I fade Liberatore, however the hell you want to call it, every single time. The guy's a ticking time bomb ready to implode, and I don't want any part of that. It's the uncomfortable drunk at the party, hanging on you, just invading your personal space. I don't need that in my life. Like, I don't need a bet on him in my life. Give me the Twins, but on the run line. What should have happened on Wednesday now happens on Thursday, because a lot of people are going to bail thinking, oh, well, St. Louis is back. Yeah, right. Back to what? Reds, Cubs, Weaver, Taillon. This one I had the most difficulty with across the board. And the reason is because I don't think, even though it's at plus 134 or better, depending on where you can find this. Please shop. I just don't necessarily think this is a right number for Cincinnati. Now, granted, Luke Weaver has had an incredible string where he's given up a shit ton of runs, and yet Cincinnati has pulled together wins and victories. And you're like, how is this even possible? Neither one of these guys are doing anything from a K standpoint. They're both limiting some walks. There isn't a metric or number that would indicate that Luke Weaver is doing a lot of stuff really well. But we have seen this team somehow rally and win a lot of games behind a struggling Weaver. And that's something that I just can't ignore. And again, I'm going to need sample size here to fade that. I'm going to need like 3 starts where he still pitches like dog shit and the team doesn't win. Until then, and I get it, like this series has been wild so far. Absolutely wild, as we saw 20 runs and then again, a bunch of runs on Wednesday night. Just right back with it. In this case, though, I think we have to go Cincinnati on the run line. Cincinnati on the run line. All right, couple left. Just a couple. Just a handful. Just a sprinkle. Not too much analysis in this one. I think you look at the two pitchers and think, yeah, that's an underplay. Is it going to be 7.5? Probably not. It's probably going to be closer to what, 8, 8.5. I'm fine going under anything 8 or better. I would not go higher than I would not go lower, pardon me, than 7.5. I don't think you need to. It's probably going to be bet down to 7.5, but I'm fine taking the under 8 here. It's Ohtani and Brian Wu. That's it. That's all you need. That's all I need. I saw the pitching matchup. Okay, makes some sense. Loads of Ks there for Ohtani in that Seattle lineup. And look, just because the Angels made this vocal push and I guess backed it up a little bit to get behind Ohtani in some playoff run doesn't mean that you just slide them in at home as some monster minus 154 favorite. I think they struggle against Wu, and I think this game is a pitcher's duel. And that's why I want every piece of this under 8 more so than anything else, all right? Last play. JP Sears versus Julio Urias. Last year, this is a different storyline, at least for the Dodgers. But, you know, even with additions and even with getting better, there's something about this game, specifically with Urias, that I feel like he could give up some runs. We're all basically counting on JP Sears to get lit. It's just a matter of when. Half of his pitches are four-seamers. You start to lose some movement. Next thing you know, that ball just gets launched. And we've seen, to an extent, he's been a decent to good job of limiting some hard-hit stuff. But come on. Where we are right now in this game, or at least looking at this game, it's not going to come with home runs, but I think both lineups are going to be able to manufacture some runs. And I think Urias, what we saw last year, is kind of a thing of the past now. You're pitching with the lead. You should be pitching with the lead. You got the Dodgers bats behind you, so that changes some dynamic for him, but he isn't as dominant as we've seen before. And Oakland will definitely, they don't know any better. A bunch of young kids in a bad season now. They don't know any better. You give them an opportunity, you give them an opening, a mistake, even early in this game, and they're going to turn on it. JP Sears is going to get lit. It's only a matter of time. Last play of the night, over 8.5 here for the Dodgers. I know it's a lot, Technically, the Dodgers could get 9 and handle it for us, and then we go home happy. But you never know in this particular case here. All right. Last thing for you on the way out. Told you about BetMGM. 2 free months of the Odd Shopper Discord. That's all one. That's all encompassing. This one here, though, 70% off your first month. We have home run plays. The NFL. All right. You're watching this on Thursday. We have Hall of Fame game plays. We have all of this here for you, from baseball to football and anything in between. We killed it in the NBA. So we want you here now. And your first month is 70% off. That's less than a cup of coffee. If it's not, you're drinking the wrong shit, cuz. That's it. Thanks to Jacob for producing. Thanks to you out there for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe. The good news is we're going to hit a lot of bets. The bad news, you got me again for Friday night. Sorry.